Welcome to Just Minding My Business, the Facebook Live edition, with your host, Ida Crawford, and I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins. Tonight, we welcome Danielle J. Hall, who is an entrepreneur, author, as well as a personal growth and entrepreneur coach. Welcome, Danielle.
Welcome,
Hi, thanks for
Danielle.
having me, ladies.
Absolutely. So, Danielle, tell us who Danielle is.
Okay, so I'm an author, I'm a hairstylist, I'm a life coach. I've started my own hair product line recently. And my passion out of all of those things that I just named is the life coach and the authoring. I absolutely love helping others, and I feel like my calling was to help other hurting people. So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to be a life coach as well as to write books to help people, to help other hurting people.
Awesomeness. So, tell us about your books.
So I have two books now. My first book is called Love, Lust, and Redemption. And my second book is called From a Caterpillar to a Butterfly, A Guide to Turning Your Pain into Power. My first book is more like a novel because it's written novel like a novel, and it's basically about four women and a life coach who go through their trials and tribulations in love and lust and learning the difference between the two and figuring out some things with their personal relationships and with themselves. Now, the second book, Transforming from a Caterpillar to a Butterfly, is an extension of the first book. So the same characters that are in the first book are in the second book. However, it's not written in novel form. It's actually written as a self-help book. So inside, at the end of the chapters, we have a guide with questions to help you manipulate through the chapter and navigate and make sure that you learn what you were supposed to learn from the chapter. The book also includes a personal journal where, as you're reading, you can journal your feelings. If something like touches your spirit in the book, it's a journal for you to be able to journal how you're feeling as you're reading the book. It's something that you can go back and reflect on at a later date. If you feel like it's something that something that's bothering you, you can always go back to your journal.
Okay. So, give us a little bit of some of the things that you talk about in your butterfly book.
Um, Transforming from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Oh, we touch on so many different things. One of the ones that holds really, really dear to my heart is breaking generational curses. And that's one of the topics that I would love for us to discuss tonight. That's one of the chapters. Some of the other chapters touch on your self-esteem, love, how to know if you're being loved properly, if you're loving yourself properly. We also touch on I feel like it's more touching on personal growth. So if it's somebody that wants to grow, they want to learn themselves, because sometimes we can be in our 40s, 50s, and 60s and not know ourselves or haven't learned ourselves and figured some things out about ourselves that we may not have known when we were growing up or when we were younger in our 20s. And a lot of our growth we do in our older years because we start to accept it. And then you just get tired of being the same old way and nothing changing. So the book will definitely help you with your personal growth journey, with helping you. And I picked the title From a Caterpillar to a Butterfly because sometimes we are operating on what I call caterpillar level, meaning we are operating way below our standards and our potential. And sometimes it takes for something, it could be a tragedy, it could be something good to happen for us to say, okay, I don't want to scrum around on this ground anymore like a caterpillar. I really want to be better and I want to soar. Because what happens to caterpillars? We step on them. Sometimes we don't even know that they're there. They just squirming on the ground, hoping nobody like kills them. But once they get into the cocoon and they transform, then they become a butterfly and then they're flying. So they high, nobody can step on you. Like if you're a butterfly, nobody can walk over top of you because you're higher than everybody. So that was one of the main reasons I picked that, because I want people to like chart their growth. Like, okay, I'm starting here and now I'm going to read this book. I'm going to learn some things about myself that I may not have known or didn't want to accept. And then as I journey through the read, I will slowly see myself transforming, changing some habits, changing some things, you know, about you. We all got things about ourselves that we can change because nobody's perfect. And once you start to make those changes, that's like being in a cocoon. And sometimes it's dark. Well, most of the time it's dark, because when you start to make changes for yourself and about yourself, it's hard. Like it's hard. It's dark. Sometimes you feel like you're losing people. Sometimes you do lose people. Sometimes you lose relationships and friends because you're trying to like make yourself better. So that I call that the cocoon period that we go through and the transformation. But when we come out of it and when we learn everything that we need to learn, then we can come out and we're new and we're a butterfly and we're flying around and we're having fun and doing all good things. So that's like pretty much like the gist of why I wrote the book and what I expect to gain from my readers when people read the book.
All right. All right. I did like the part when you talked about the generational curses. You know, that's my favorite piece because I think everybody can relate to a bad habit or a belief that they brought from their childhood that that's not serving them. So
Yeah,
can you talk a little bit about that?
sure. So in the beginning, of the generational curses chapter, I touch uh on being from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and I touch on like some of the first things that we tend to encounter in our lives. So when you're born, like the first two people that you encounter are your parents, your mom and your dad. Sometimes only one is there. Sometimes both of them are there. It just depends on what your situation is. But those are two of the first people that you come encounter with when you're born, and you begin to learn from them. So if if you're in a two-parent household, you begin to learn the patterns of your parents and how they move and how they talk to each other, and what type of relationship is it? Is it loving? Is it toxic? Like, and then as you grow up, sometimes we begin to mimic those behaviors. Not always good behaviors to mimic, but it's all that we know because these are the people that reared us and raised us, and we in the house with them, and we're watching their patterns, whether they're good patterns or bad patterns. So I touch on, like, if you're in a family and everybody drinks alcohol, whether it's a beer, whether dad come in every day with a 6-pack of beer, or, a thing of liquor and he taking a drink, or mom might be having a beer and everybody like drinking liquor with dinner and everything. But as a child, that's all you see. I saw my father drink beer every day. So I guess it's okay to drink beer every day. And then you may grow up and drink beer every day. And I call stuff like that generational curses. Not that it's bad to drink beer, but for it to be like a habit, and you see it, then you see them drinking it, and then their mood change. And I'm kind of speaking from personal experiences, and their mood change, and they're like different, they act different. And then you start to correlate, okay, my father acts a certain way in the morning, but by the time he drink his 6-pack of beer in the afternoon, he's acting like a whole different person. So we will, like I say, just sometimes mimic things, and it's not always bad behaviors, but curses are bad. So when you're talking about a generational curse, whether it be alcoholism, whether it be drug abuse, whether it be physical abuse or verbal abuse, anything that you see in your journey growing up, sometimes we will mimic it. And sometimes not intentionally. Like sometimes we don't even know we acting just like our mother, or we're acting just like our father. Then you have to do the inner work to even figure out, I'm acting just like this person. And I didn't even really like, the way that this person may have reacted. Like, I don't know if you have ever encountered, like, and this is just a small thing, like a person that's in a family and they use foul language all the time. And like the mom, she's cussing the kids out and calling them all kinds of names. And then when you grow up and you have children, you do the same thing to your kids. Now, you didn't like it when it was being done to you as a child, but because that's all you knew, and that's the only way you knew how to discipline or receive discipline, is to lash out and call somebody a name, then that's what you grow up to do. Is that a good behavior? No. You didn't like how I felt when it was done to you, but then you find yourself like using the same behavior and the same, antics with your kids. So that all kind of ties into the whole generational curse thing.
That was a good synopsis of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to use like actual circumstances just so you can kind of say, oh yeah, I knew somebody that did that, and I know somebody that do that. So, and it all ties in together. And there's so many different curses that it could be, but I figured out with myself that I had to be the one. Once I figured out what they was, and they was generational curses, then I had to start to figure out how to break them, because I have children and I have boy children. I have young men. So no way in the world would I want two people that I created to turn out like some of the men that I saw in my family. So I'm working very, very hard to break that curse of laziness. Oh my God, alcoholism. It was all kinds of curses going on in my family. And I just feel like for me and my kids, I need to break them. And then prayerfully, it will be a trip, it'll trickle on. So my kids won't have kids and raise them to be lazy men that don't take care of their families, because I raised them not to be lazy men that don't take care of their families. So it got to break somewhere. Like somebody has to say enough is enough. Now, is it hard to break a generational curse? Absolutely. Because you're the only one doing it. And all your other family, they just kind of sitting around and just like, oh, well, that's what they're going to do. And that's what we're going to do. And we just going to live it out. And then you the one person, like sometimes I feel like the sacrificial lamb that decides they're going to step in and do something about it and start doing the work. And nobody really understands why you're even doing all of these things. But you know that it's because you want to break this curse.
That is, you just used a term that is so important, doing the work. And that's what most people run from, like COVID-19. They run from it. They run from it. Doing the work is really hard.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
just absolutely. So could you talk about that a little bit, about doing the work and how you help people to do that as a coach?
So coaching, so when I got my coaching certification, I learned, number one, in being a coach, you learn to listen. you learn to listen, not do a lot of talking and reacting, but we're trained to listen. So where I like to come in, especially like the personal, because I'm a personal growth coach as well as an entrepreneur coach. And the way that I have my program set up is I have my clients go through the personal growth portion of the program first for 3 months. And then you branch into the entrepreneur. Because if you're not right personally, like if you don't have yourself, if you haven't done the work with yourself, you can't be an entrepreneur. You can't start a business. You can't really do a whole lot of stuff when you haven't done what you need to do for yourself personally. So that's why I like to do that portion of it first. So in that portion of the coaching, we go over doing the inner work. So what is it on your, like, what is it going on in your life that may be blocking you from starting your business? You've been talking about starting a business for 5 years. You got everything set up. So why haven't you started it? What is it going on personally in your life? And a lot of times, ladies, it stems all the way back to childhood and things that happen as a child, or things somebody may have said to you as a child that diminished your self-esteem and made you feel like you couldn't start the business, or you couldn't write the book, or you couldn't write the song or the book of poetry. Because sometimes people, if they're not there, they don't want you to be there. And I'm talking about, like, your parents can be like that too. If you have parents that stuck by the book and they worked one job for 40 years and not that there's anything wrong with that, but these are not people that's going to be cool with you stepping out being an entrepreneur and quitting your $70,000 a year job talking about you starting a business. I'm starting a business and doing what? You make $70,000 a year, yeah, but I want to make $270,000 a year. And I can't make that working in corporate America. So a lot of times when you want to branch out on your own, you can't worry about what other people. If I would have listened to my mother, who wanted me to stay working for the state of Maryland, I would probably still be there. I might have 35 years in, but I wouldn't be making no money. I'd probably be stressed the heck out from the job. But I decided that that's not the path that I wanted to take. And again, there's nothing wrong with working in corporate America. But when I feel like a lot of people have an entrepreneur spirit that's just like in there, and they it's not coming out because it's nothing bringing it out. So I want to bring that entrepreneur out of you. I want to help you heal whatever personal wounds, whatever people that said to you that probably wasn't true, that got your self-esteem down. I want to help you to lift it. So that's basically what I do in the beginning part of my coaching program. Do the inner work, do the work. What happened to you when you was little and you just ain't never get over it, and you ain't never talked to nobody about it, like you just holding it in, and then you can say, oh, something did happen to me when I was little. Let me read that part of the book. And then you read that part and say, oh, okay, well, I can make some changes there. I can forgive that person that didn't know how to love me or didn't know how to treat me. I can forgive that person that told me I wasn't going to amount to anything and I wasn't never going to be able to start my own business. Forgive them and then move forward. And then in your once you get that part done, in your second portion of your 6-month coaching, now let's start talking about starting this business, because now you got your personal life together. Now let's get the business started. So that's basically how my coaching program is set up.
Wow, that's deep. And that's important because a lot of times we do go into a business situation with junk.
Mhm.
And the thing about a business, you're going to get more challenges,
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot more challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So clean up that old stuff is going to be critical. And one of the things I believe as a business owner is you have to constantly do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to constantly.
Absolutely.
Junk it's just like a closet. You clean the closet out, it's nice and beautiful. 6 months later, it's jumped up again.
Hey, wait a minute, not 6 months later. How about 6 days later? If you talk about me, because I will, and when I tell you, I meticulously go in and I clean everything up and set my shoes up and my clothes up. And by the time the week is over, after I done got dressed for a whole week and threw this shoe over here and this came off the hanger, my whole closet is like a mess again. So yeah, it's like, that's exactly what it's like. You got to keep going back and repeating and repeating. But every time you do it different, something different comes out of it. So like, I feel like every time I clean my closet, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna let it get this bad. So the next time it won't be as bad, but you know, I still got to do it. And then once you perfect it, you don't have to worry about repeating it over again. Keep doing it over and over again.
Yes, once you develop what I always like to call that muscle,
Mm-hmm.
because life is going to come at you. You can count on it. And it's always going to be something. When it's nothing, be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always going to be something that is going to take you somewhere you don't want to be.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yes. So this entrepreneur, this woman has been an entrepreneur ever since I've known her. Tell us about that piece of you.
Okay, so I am a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for about 25 years now. And in my journey of doing hair, I do children's hair, I do young people, I have a lot of older, like elderly clients that I do now. And I'm finding that when people are on certain medications, just certain things, when our bodies change as we get older, a lot of times it affects their hair. And like if you're on a blood pressure medication or thyroid medication, those medications thin your hair out. So I've noticed a lot of my clients were having issues with their hair thinning due to taking different medications. And I wanted to figure out how to help them without sending them to the hair store, you know, the just the regular little corner store to spend their money there. Like, how can I create something that will help my clients' hair grow? So I started doing some research, and at one point I was gonna like connect with this company that pretty much you use their products, but they'll put the label on it and it's your label. But that was very expensive. So I said, well, all you gotta do is research it, what exactly is you want to do. And I started my own hair product line to help my clients. So I have a hair growth oil, and I have hair and body butter because I have eczema, and my children have it. So I was always trying to figure out something that you could use to like help with dry skin and things like that. And shea butter is like one of the top things to help with that. So what I did was just with my products is like incorporate all of the oils, the natural oils and things to help your hair grow and to moisturize your body. And I created my hair oil and my body butter from that. And it all kind of ties in because part of being an entrepreneur is making sure that you don't have your hand like in every single pot because something's going to lack. So if you're trying to do too many things because you need to make money and you want to do this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, there's something normally lacks. So if you can kind of tie it all in together, then it'll all make sense. So by me being a hairstylist, I talk to people all day. That's one reason why I'm like, well, why won't I just be a coach? Because I'm talking all day for free and giving all this good information to people for free. And I need people not to be getting my information for free. So I did the coaching thing. And then I'm like, okay, and out of your coach, so you know, part of our training was like, you need to publish something. If you want to make your coaching business, you know, stand out, have something published. So then I said, okay, well, I love to write. So maybe I'll write a book. And that's what made me write my book. But with my book, my coaching and my hair products, it all like circles around because then I have my clients, my hair clients that I can sell my books to and my hair products and introduce my coaching program and things. So I can keep it all like all in a circle to keep all of my entrepreneur stuff like together. But I've always had the entrepreneur spirit. So it was just a matter of like manifesting it and kind of bringing it into fruition. So that's what I like to help people do in my program. Start the business, write the book, make the product, whatever it is that you do, let's get it done. Because as we see in these times that we're having with this whole, COVID-19 thing, nothing's promised. None of these jobs are promised, because I bet you every single person that's teleworking or laid off or not working right now would have never in a million years thought that they weren't going to have a job. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these people are entrepreneurs. They got businesses in their head that they never like manifested, because I'm going to work my job because I know my job is going to be here forever. No, it ain't. It's so many people that thought they was going to have their job forever, and they sit in their firm on Facebook Live doing something because they not working, and they never thought that they weren't going to work. And now we are kind of solely dependent on the government to decide whether or not they're going to give us money to live off of, or we're going to have to figure something else out. So this is the perfect time for any entrepreneur. Even if you didn't even think you was an entrepreneur, you sitting on your couch like, I can do that. Now is the time to step out and do it. And my coaching program is like the perfect thing right now for somebody that, maybe dealing with now depression or something from just being home with the COVID-19 and just want to work on themselves. Because, once you spend time with yourself, you figure out what you need to work on. We all got stuff to work on. And once you get with you,
there you go.
Once you get
nobody else.
And nobody else, you're like, oh, so this is what was going on. And then, you got people that stuck in the house together, like couples. Now they realize that we don't even like each other. And the only reason we've been together is because we moving and shaking, and we ain't never sitting still. Now we sitting still together, realizing, this ain't even working out for me. So people, like, it's just a big change for the world. And the world is really like changing right before our eyes. So if the world is going to change, we have to change. Yes. We got to change right along with it. So, just do it. Like I'm just like, do it. Whatever it is you want to do right now, just do it. Because we don't even know what's going to happen from day to day. So if you don't do it today, what day might you do it? Or when do you want to start? Because it may never come. So, this is just a really good time for everybody to do a lot of self-reflecting, the inner work, digging deep inside, learning what it is about you that makes you tick or makes other people tick, or what is it that I need to do to change my situation now, because the whole world has changed. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do with this change.
Oh, excellent.
Right.
Thank you for that. Excellent. That is so true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, because we're never going to go back to the way it was.
Mm-mm.
It's never going to go back to that way. It's going to take years before we even start hugging each other.
Because now we kind of looking at people like, should I hug them? Like, no, don't hug me. Like, don't touch me. And it's so crazy because if you're a hugger, it's hard to not hug.
It's going to be the good old elbow.
Yeah, hit the elbow, and that's it.
We have arrived at a new reality. There is no going back.
No, it's not.
Forever. And we have to either grow with it. And a lot of what you're saying is so key, that we do the work, the inner work. Now's the time. You can't go anyplace. You can't really do anything. So now's the time to stop running to the television, stop running to the news feed, stop watching Netflix and all the other nonsense, and just still. Just still. And you'll find in that stillness that, it may feel uncomfortable. Because we're so used to doing. Now we have to be. And it's the part of us being that we've been running away from for so long. But now we've got the time. Like you said, time to stop, do a lot of introspection. And the thing that you thought you never do. I don't care if it's planting geraniums upside down. I don't care. Now's the time for it. Whatever
Yes.
it is, like you said, everyone has something inside of them that they really want to do. It's usually the thing that they've thrown away or put away for years. Now's the time. And I'm so glad that you talk about that. Many people are saying it, but it's great to hear it from someone who is an entrepreneur as well as a coach
Mm,
and someone who has expressed it in their lives.
right.
You're actually doing
Yes.
it and you had to get there. It's a journey. You don't get there overnight, but this is the perfect time to start the journey. What
Yes.
they call that hero's journey. You got to start someplace. You
Mm,
Yes.
don't know where it's going to take you, but that's the adventure. That's the fun of it. You
Yes.
that's
don't know
right.
where it's going to take us. And that's like we're all in that place. We're all in the place of starting a journey that we never expected to have to start. But if we
Mm-hmm.
have the courage, it's going to take us to good places.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So pleased that you are on our Facebook Live, Danielle. You brought some very rich, provoking words into our lives, into the lives of
Actually,
our
Yeah,
watchers.
well,
it's a
YouTube
pleasure.
Live, we were supposed to be on Facebook Live, but
Oh, that's right.
it wasn't playing right. So here we are
On YouTube, but
on
it was a pleasure.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. It's always a pleasure to speak with you two ladies because y'all really like help to pump people up and get things done and just give a different perspective because you have people on and we have to figure out how to like set ourselves apart because there's so many people now doing all of this virtual stuff because we can't go nowhere, we can't have meetings, we can't have like events, so people are just coming out trying to get everything done. But what's so unique about just minding my business is number one, it was out way before COVID-19.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
you already had the platform and your platform is awesome. I love what you ladies do with entrepreneurs and business owners, and it helps to, get our platform out to speak, and it just helps people. So it's always a pleasure being able to speak with you. You ladies.
Well, we appreciate that. And, we love you
Mhm.
always. And, what you do is valuable to the people that we serve. So
Mhm.
we
Mm.
always want to bring value to not only our guests, but the people we serve as well. So before we wrap up, Danielle, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so I have my website is daniellejhall.com. And on my website, you can find my books, you can find my hair products, you can find out all the information about my 6-month coaching program. I also will have a group coaching program starting very, 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 very soon. That's in the works. So what we'll do in that coaching is the name of it will be Butterfly Bosses, and it'll be a membership only group where we will fine tooth go through this book, and we'll go through all of the chapters and we'll discuss it. We'll have breakout sessions. So I'm really excited about getting that group coaching started because I think a lot of ladies can benefit from the information in this book, especially now because you don't have nothing but time to work on yourself. So let's work on ourselves. So we'll be announcing that soon. That'll also be on my website. But again, Danielle J Hall is my website. My Facebook is Danielle J Hall. My Instagram is Danielle the Stylist. And and you can email me if you need to email me at sheerserenity109@gmail.com.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Has been a blast as
Yes.
usual. And we're looking forward to doing this again.
Yes.
Great, great, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, ladies, and you enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
You
too.